our industry is an industry that doesn't want to comply. Crypto and blockchain is a way to get around the traditional rules. There's always going to be meme coins, always going to be fraud. If there's a local Ponzi scheme, you'll never hear about it. Let's put that aside. I view it as infrastructure, so read a lot. A lot of lawyers are taught, just here's the law, and that's it. Operating in the gray area. Apply it, boom, move on.
General advice, if someone wants to go into the blockchain, like what's the best approach? Because what I love about the issues, be it political or not, it's mostly like just passing few bills around and things will all be fixed. Like we have one of the best economies. We have like the highest technology adoption rate. So there's no fee, and we have a lot of problems to solve, like out of pain points for businesses, for consumer. So there are actual use cases. You just need to either like be an early adopter or like try to literally scrutinize and see what's going on. So I totally agree with that aspect with you. Given that we're talking about more on education, what do you think are the most common misconception when it comes to blockchain or like tokenization? Maybe we can focus more on blockchain now. When you talk with people, you talk within your teams, you pitch customers. Maybe you are on the legal team, you're mostly like the legal mind, but like what are the pushbacks or misconceptions you get?
I think the biggest misconception is that our industry is an industry that doesn't want to comply. I think people view, I think it's a misinformed view, but they view those who are interested in crypto and blockchain as those who view crypto and blockchain as a way to get around the traditional rules. It's not, and what they're missing is, the blockchain industry, it's not intended to get around the rules. It's intended to make the rules a lot better, a lot more efficient. And so I think this idea that people are not in it for the right reasons, people have bad intent, and that it's just a bunch of criminals, that to me is the misconception that I think we're always going to have to deal with, no matter what. There's always going to be meme coins. There's always going to be fraud, just like there is in TradFi, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. It's much more easily traceable than TradFi is. Like if there's a local Ponzi scheme in, the Midwest of the US, like I'm never gonna hear about it. But if it's in crypto, you can go on chain, you can check, you can validate basically everything they've done in terms of their rug pull. And, you can dig into it well before the criminal authorities get involved, et cetera. So, I think crypto suffers from just really access to so much information, which I think is a good thing. I think the country and the industry just has to kind of get used to that. That's not going to go away.
I always bring the argument whenever like people talk about misconceptions like bag actors. I always say like, do you know the statistics about check frauds? Oh, yeah. Do you know the statistics about like there are a lot of stuff like people just like took for granted and like, okay, check frauds or whatever. Like, dude, like, yeah.
You're never going to hear about a check fraud.
Exactly.
You'll never hear about it because no one's paying attention, but you'll hear about a small crypto fraud and it gets a lot of attention, as it should. Because all of it's public. You can drill into it, figure it out. It's really interesting.
100%. Now I want to move a bit again to 21Shares. You guys, what are the most interesting projects you're working on beside ETFs? What excites you today? What's waking you up in the morning? And how this is driving more institutional adoption?
Yeah, I think that the most exciting thing that we're doing is on the tokenization side.
Yes.
And so I think our core thesis obviously was expanding access, but also convergence between tokens. I view tokenization obviously like it's an asset class, right? But let's put that aside. I view it as infrastructure. So convergence between tokenization as infrastructure and ETPs as access to capital markets. 100%. I view that as like really, really interesting. And it doesn't have to be an ETP. It can be other ways to bring it to TradFi markets, but I think that's really cool. We're doing a lot on wrap tokens. I think I think blockchain and crypto suffers from just a real disintermediation between protocols, L1s, L2s. We've launched a bunch of wrap tokens, which I think is really cool, and we're working on some other solutions to bring more cross protocol interoperability. I think that's got to be the future if DeFi's ever going to stick
Yeah,
around.
exactly. Given that you raised this, does you see IP by Chainlink as well? Like when they are trying to integrate with the Swift, this is also one of the most interesting applications, and it's a game changer, regardless if Swift is going to stay or not. Like the future will
Who
tell.
knows? Yeah, who knows? We work with Chainlink on proof of reserves. We've done like a bunch of partnerships with them, both in our ETPs and on the token side. So certainly know those guys. But yeah, I think tokenization converging with TradFi. I think that's a theme you'll see over the next 5 years, really exploding.
Exactly. Exactly. Uh, Final remarks. If someone wants to get, I'm all because I'm from Berkeley. I always go to Berkeley Law, and they have a lot of like blockchain initiatives. They love blockchain there. A lot of like undergrad or like even the master, the JDs, they just like how we can get into this, how we can get into that. Like general advice, if someone wants to go into blockchain with law within blockchain, like what's the best approach?
I'd say it's one of the best questions that I get asked is how do I get involved? I think one is learn the technology, just play around, take
Yeah,
$100, just go mess around and try out different applications, try out different things, and just have fun doing it. I think that's one thing. Read a lot. Read every regulatory development. Go on Twitter. Go on LinkedIn. Follow. There's a lot of really good people putting a lot of good content out there. Go to the good websites, and then when laws come out, when court decisions come out, just read them. Read the actual decisions, and then I think just work with product and technical people.
nice.
Do some product work because I think the hardest thing for a lawyer to do is to figure out how to be a product lawyer. And I think a lot of lawyers are taught just here's the law and that's it. It's not how it works. As a lawyer, I work with our product teams, our data science teams, engineering teams, ops teams when they come up with we come up with ideas together. I am early, and I force legal to be in there early, not because I'm trying to like stop what they're doing, but because I think I can help make it better. And I actually put our legal team right next to the technical team when I joined the company. Legal's not off in the corner. Legal's not in a different building. Legal's like literally in the middle of our open office next to every single technical team. And so the attorneys on my team are forced to interact with the tech and the business people. That creates a culture of collaboration. And so I think, if you're a junior lawyer, you might be a law firm where it's too where a startup can't afford you. You know what? Go volunteer your time. Go do it for free. Go out to coffee and offer these founders free advice. They're always going to appreciate it. And so I think it's just getting involved, learning about it, and really taking it seriously. I think people, historically people get into crypto because it was like an area of the law that no one else really did. So maybe they thought they could make a buck. But I think now it's like a much more mature field for lawyers. So those are my 3 cents of advice.
Amazing advice. You brought this up in my mind. Like, whenever I'm having previous conversations with like corporate law, it's super straightforward. You just go to the book. It's like literally nothing out of the box. Like whenever you're having a conversation for like with trying to consult with a lawyer, blockchain lawyer, and the question is about like, let's say, payments or tokenizing a fund or DeFi exchange, there are a lot of ifs and buts, and a
I
lot
know,
of
I know. You got it. Yeah, it's tough.
outside of the box. It's super interesting.
I know. You know what? You got to get comfortable. You, meaning lawyers,
Yeah,
lawyers have to get comfortable operating in the gray area. In
yeah,
most other
exactly.
industries, it's not an issue. Law, apply it, boom, move on, go launch your business. In crypto, it's such an unfortunate. consequence, but it requires a skill set of, the rule is, here's the general rule, and let's figure out how to structure it so we are a couple steps away in areas, and you got to be able to operate in the gray area with uncertainty.
And I
Totally.
guess it requires like a significant amount of networking, like what others are doing, what others did in a bad way, right? Like how can you avoid that? What's the best practice we can create? So yeah, I believe it's super interesting. Andrew, thank you so much for your time. It was amazing having you over. Hopefully it's not the last time. And yeah, any closing remarks on your side?
No, I just think if you're a lawyer out there, get involved early. If you're a founder out there, bring smart lawyers in early. It's going to pay off, but you got to find the right people to do it. If you get the wrong people, it could be a pain in the butt. But I think I think the key is just keep building. That's it.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.